Hello food fans, we're going to have some delicious leftovers from Christmas and they will last me probably almost into the new year. Ham, potatoes, carrots, cabbage, onions, all cooked up in a pressure cooker and they're cooling off just a little bit right now. I've heated them up again and I'll let you get a look at them in the pressure cooker, and we'll also probably tell some Hollywood stories here and there. So let's get started. There is the pressure cooker, and I've taken the weight off the pressure cooker. The steam coming out has stopped, and I'll take the top off very, very carefully, and we will see lots of hot food in there. And what we have in there is the main ingredient is ham, and the ham is delicious. And I also have some potatoes, some carrots, some onions, some cabbage, and I guess that's about all that in the water that makes steam. And I will move this around a bit. There's enough food here from 2 days ago when I started making this on Christmas. There's still enough food for, I'd guess, at least 7 days of cooking, and my last meal from this will be the liquid, the juices, with pasta. So this is going to be good, and it's going to be good for a long time. Well, it looks good. The steam smells good, and I'm glad just to be here, just to be fortunate enough to have so much good food. Start off with a little bit of potato, and this will be hot, of course. And keep the kids away from the stove and anything that's hot or anything that's sharp. The flavor of the ham goes through the vegetables, and the flavor of the vegetables finds itself in the ham. And what I forgot to get was a knife. Let's see if I can cut this with a spoon. Yeah, we can cut this with a spoon. It won't be neat, but one of the advantages of cooking with a pressure cooker, the food is very, very tender when it's finished. And what I'm going to do is make a little bit of a ham sandwich, and we'll eat this and talk about so much has happened since the last time I had a video. We had a big explosion in downtown Nashville, and apparently one person was killed. At first they said nobody was killed, 3 people hurt. This is so good. I wish you were here with me, and you are, aren't you? The explosion at this moment, this is excuse me, this is Sunday the 27th, and the explosion is believed to be a suicide bomber. But and by the way, that did interrupt my internet and telephones. No dial tone, no internet, no contact with the outside world other than radio. And they restored my internet pretty rapidly, considering the damage that was done. It was apparently an attack against AT&T, and I say that just from what the news reports have been thus far. Other than that, I know very little about it. I was 15 miles away. I did not hear it. I did not feel it. And I hope everyone who is displaced because of that event is rapidly getting some assistance and getting their life back to what we will consider to be normal. 2020 has not really been normal so far, has it? Talk a little bit about California and show business. I was fortunate enough to be in show business for long time, 50 years and more, I spent doing some sort of show business endeavor, and I was fortunate enough to make, I might have shaken up this mustard, I was fortunate enough to make a good living at it. It took me a long time. I arrived in California April 5th of 1956, putting some mustard on my sandwich. I'm just going to have a one bread sandwich thing here. It's going to be a little bit messy, but it's going to be tasty. The ham is always tender and always good, but it's even better when you cook it in a pressure cooker with some vegetables. Forgive me for talking with my mouth full, but I have a habit of doing that, I guess. I arrived in California April 5th, 1956. I did not actually get to officially be in a movie until January of 1979, so it took me a long time. "23 years. But during those 23 years, I was watching live shows with live entertainers. This is so good. I saw lots and lots of headline stars. I saw singers, dancers, actors, comics, and I wanted very much to be part of it. And I found a way in. The movie that helped me the most to advance my career, a movie that held a lot of information that I found to be useful, was A Face in the Crowd with Andy Griffith. It showed me that for me, radio would be a way to get into show business, and I could make a lateral move into acting or comedy or whatever I wanted. And when I met a radio announcer, I started writing for him. And when he got laryngitis, he asked me to do his show for him. It was a great career beginning for me. Someone wanted to know if I knew or had worked with Lucille Ball. I never met her, but I saw her photos and I knew her story. I was working at Paramount on Dear John. I worked on Family Ties, I worked on Happy Days, I worked on Winds of War, and a lot of other shows at Paramount. But Dear John was a show I really felt at home with. And sometimes I would take a walk around the back of the Paramount lot, which once had been RKO. RKO was a big movie studio at one time. One of their releases was King Kong. They made lots of movies, some were classics. And they made them in what is now the back of the Paramount lot, and also the side where Gower Street is with the offices. Part of that was RKO. RKO stood for Radio Keith Orpheum. It was a theater circuit and a movie studio. And Lucille Ball and her husband Desi Arnaz bought RKO, the RKO studios at Paramount, turned it into Desi Lou Productions. Time for root beer. Root beer and ham go together very well. So Lucille Ball had a studio with her husband, Desi Arnaz. They had Desilu Productions. And Lucille Ball produced what was generally considered to be the first 3-camera show. Now it's actually a 4-camera, but they still call it 3-camera shows. You have the A, B, C cameras and the X camera, or you have the 1, 2, 3 cameras and the X camera. That's the way it's done now, but Lucille Ball was the one who made it popular, doing her show before a live studio audience and filming it on real film, not taping it. Potatoes are good. Now I have a piece of ham. And this food, as I mentioned before, will probably be a week's supply of food. And I think we're talking about $1.50, $2 per meal. This is a very low cost way to have a delightful Christmas or other holiday meal. So in addition to being the star of the show, and also she was producing other shows with her studio, the Desilu Productions. They had other sitcoms in the works, so they were doing fine financially, and Lucille Ball was a great business lady. They were inventing what is now the common practice of actors having business interest in their films and owning all or some of their films. The other person who helped get actors a bit of control over their movies, another such person, was a fellow named William Boyd. He was Hopalong Cassidy in the movies, and you can probably find a lot of his old movies at YouTube. William Boyd, B-O-Y-D. Root beer. William Boyd was a big star in the 1930s and early 40s. He was a star of the Hopalong Cassidy movies. Hopalong Cassidy was a character, made probably about 50 movies. William Boyd playing the part of Hopalong Cassidy. And the movies started to gradually have less of a box office. And William Boyd was considered to be a has-been in the 1940s. But about 1948, William Boyd mortgaged everything he had to buy the rights to his Hopalong Cassidy movies. He bought all of the movies. He owned them for $350,000, which was a lot of money back then. It's ham time. And with Hopalong Cassidy, William Boyd owned his movies, he sold them. He rented them. He let TV stations show them. And he made millions of dollars by being a businessman because he was smart enough to know about merchandising. A lot of YouTubers know that already. Merchandising. They made Hopalong Cassidy hats, Hopalong Cassidy boots, Hopalong Cassidy gun and holster sets, Hopalong Cassidy comic books. They had a Hopalong Cassidy bicycle, Hopalong Cassidy radio, Hopalong Cassidy plates. The big money in show business is if you can own a product that generates merchandise, and you own it. If you have a YouTube channel, you want to have merchandise, have merchandise. If you're doing music on your YouTube channel, do originals or public domain, you own them. This is good, folks. 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 To make the video a little bit shorter, as I always do, I'll introduce our dessert and one of my Christmas presents here. Someone gave me some strawberries, wonderful strawberries, great big strawberries, tasty strawberries. I've already had some. I'm going to have the this strawberry with this raspberry yogurt. This is good. I hope you all are having a wonderful holiday season. I hope things go very, very well for you, for me, for everyone. 2021, all around the world. Let's all be as happy as we can be. This is yogurt, the raspberry yogurt. Strawberry. Yogurt. I don't think anyone is as fortunate as I am. I've been so lucky for so long, and to be part of the world of entertainment is a special pleasure for me, and I hope whatever it is you like to do, you can find a way to make a living doing it. Maybe growing strawberries, huh? Another bite of this yogurt. And then wish you happy and healthful and fun 2021. Have fun in 2021. Root beer goes good with yogurt. Thank you for joining me. I will tell you that Paramount is my favorite movie studio. Probably always will be. And way in the back of Paramount, they had RKO. They did some wonderful movies. And when it became Desilu, they did some wonderful TV series. And if you're ever doing a tour of Paramount Studios, the offices on Gower, I would guess they still have all the great pictures on the wall of Lucille Ball, Vivian Vance, William Frawley, and Desi Arnaz. Wonderful era, and that's just part of the story of Hollywood and how it became what it is today. Thank you for watching.